Overview of Windows Server 2016 monitoring tools. Now first we have Task Manager. Now these tools are same as Windows 10. In Windows 10 whatever the tools we have, the same kind of tool we have in for Windows Server 2016 also. Like for example the Task Manager. This Task Manager helps you to identify and resolve performance related issues. We can see all the process which is running in the machine in a foreground or also in the background also. And also we can see what the process are using, like CPU, memory, disk, network. Then we can see the performance of other things like how our RAM is performing, how our hard disk is performing, how the network is performing, what is the load of that network system. Then there is an option which is called app history. In the app history it shows much resources running apps have consumed. That means how much resources these running apps have already consumed. So it shows that which app is consuming lots of resources. So we can see that which app is consuming lots of resources, is it necessary for us or not, so we can remove it. We can stop them to use the resources. Then we have the option to do the startup. This startup option shows that which application starts automatically when our system starts. This thing makes our system boot slow sometimes. Suppose there are some big applications and they are starting at the time of our system booting, and then they can make our system slow. So if suppose it is not necessary, then we can disable them. So we can use this startup tab for the task manager, and we can disable those apps which is not required for us. It is also very helpful. Then if we want to see the detailed information about the performance of our system, then we can go for the performance monitor. This performance monitor enables you to view current performance statistics or to view historical data that data collector set have gathered. With the help of this performance monitor, we can monitor our system for some particular time. Like we can monitor the system for the particular time when all users are using our server, and then that time period we can go on to monitor the system for suppose 1 hour or half an hour or 10 minutes, and then we'll see that our system is consuming what load we are getting on which services or which objects, which hardware. We can do this by creating the data collector set. We can create our custom data collector set, and then we can monitor the machine for the period of time, and daily we can monitor daily, and then we can see at the end of the week or month that what is increasing and what is decreasing and what is need to be upgraded. So before it goes down, we are prepared to be upgraded. So this performance monitor has different counters. So when we create the data collector set, so we have different counters like primary processor counters. For the processor monitoring, we have the processor counters like processor time, then processor interrupts in second, then system, that is processor queue length. Then for the primary disk counter, we have physical disk, how much percentage disk time. Then for physical disk, average disk queue length we can check. Then primary network counters also there, network interface bandwidth. We can for the network interface we can see the current bandwidth, output queue length, and also we can see the bytes total in second, what is incoming, what is outgoing. Then for the memory we can see the page per second counter also, like how many pages memory are using per second. Then we can use the resource monitor also. This resource monitor provides an in-depth look at the real-time performance of your system. Just like the task manager, it will show you in detail that what process are using, and in real time it shows how much resources it is consuming for the overview or for the CPU, memory, disk or network, for the separate things. This is our server 2016 for task manager. We can right click on the taskbar and then we can start the task manager. And this is the task manager. Now first time when you open the task manager, it shows in the basic view. You want to see the detail, then you go for more detail here, and then it will show you in detail. Now what it is showing here is the information about the process running, like this server manager is running, and under that server manager the child process. So if you have any child process, it shows here. Task manager itself is the running for the self. Then here the background process, it shows all the background process and all the child process related to that background process. You can see how much resources they are using. Then you can see the performance here directly, that how much CPU, memory, Ethernet information they are using. You can see in the bar like information, you can see here that utilizing speed and all these informations. Memory, how much memory is going to be used, you can see that. Then you can go for the Ethernet, you can see how much network is using. Then you can go for the, you can see for the users also, like which user is running which resources, which process. So if we have multiple users logged in, then we can see a process differentiate by the users also. Then we can see the detail information here. In detail you will see process in detail with the process ID and the status of that process, with the username which is running here, like these processes are running by the system or normal user, then CPU usage, memory usage, and it shows the description also, that what is this. Like for only DWM we don't know that what is this. So here is the description saying desktop Windows Manager. So this is what the process, desktop Windows Manager. So in description we can see that what is the detailed process. Then we can go on to see the performance monitor. We can go to tools and we can open here this performance monitor. And under the performance monitor you have multiple things. Here you have the performance monitor tool set, data collector set. It is showing right now only the processor time. It is showing only the processor time, but we can add more information here, more counters here. So we can add more counters. Then we can create our own data collector set. So user data collector set, user defined data collector set will be there. Here it will be created here. This is server manager performance monitor. It is by default created, but we can create our own. Then this is the system created, because it is Active Directory server, so there is an Active Directory diagnostic data collector set with these counters. Then we have system diagnostic to data collector set with these counters. Then for the performance there is a default counter is there. So we can create our own counter, and these are the system counters are there. And then when we monitor, when we start the counters and check the events, check the resource, check the performance, it will generate the report here. Report for the user defined and for the system defined. This is for the trace session, event trace session, and startup event trace session. So these are the different counter set, like these counters. Data collector set. Now here, right now in the performance monitor, it is only monitoring the processor time. If we want to add more counters here, then we can add by right clicking it and going it into the properties. And under the properties we have these options like general, how you want to see the display elements, report and hologram by default, simple automatically. Then you can go for the source, you can see the current activity, or you want to get the monitor the information from the log file, or even from the database also you can see the graph, you can see the activity if you have already saved it. Right now it is showing the current activity, and this is where you can add the counters data. Right now it is only showing processor time, but we can add more counters. We can add more counters here, you can see. Like for the processor, I can go for the ideal time, and then I can add it here in the counters. Then there are different you can go on to check, and you want to see which counter, you can go on to see that counter, like for DNS, because it is having these informations, DNS, DHCP, so it is having the counters related to that. Like for example, I want to see the information for the memory available in bytes, or I will say available in MBs. I want to see this. These are all counter related to memory. Then we can go on to network adapter. I will say I want to see the current bandwidth, and so on. We have multiple counters here, so we can select what counters we want to see, like physical disk, you have multiple disk read byte in second, write byte in second, current disk queue length, database bytes per second I will see. So you will create your own counter set, you press OK here. These are the counter sets we have added. How you want to see the different counters with the different color, you can change, you can select, and you can change the colors. You can change the width and style of the bar. Then you can change the style of the graph here, and appearance also. Now here you will see all these counters are added, and we can see that if something is which one is using, how much it is using. We can change the graph to line to hologram. Also we can change the graph to report, so we can see it like a report. This is the performance monitor. Then we have resource monitor. Resource monitor will show you like a task manager. It will show you the detailed information of the current running process. These are the current running process for the processor. You have a disk. Then we have network related. Then we have memory information. And we can go on to see the separately for CPU. These are the process running, services, then associated handles, associated modules, then we have memory information here in detail, physical memory information, hardware reserved, in use, modified, standby, free. You can see this is the real-time process, real-time information. It is running, it is current information. Then for the disk also you can see disk activity and storage. Then we can see the network information here also. Network activity we can see. We can see the TCP connections which is right now running. We can see the listening ports also. Our system is listening on all these ports. And also if suppose some process you don't want to run, then you can right click on it, and then you can select to end the process or end the whole process tree also. So we can do that also if you want to close this process or something. So if you don't want, then you can close it. So this is same as the task manager. It shows you the detailed information. You can open it from the task manager also. In the task manager, when you go to the performance tab, you have the option to open the resources to resource monitor also to see it in detail. one more tool we have, it is called reliability monitor. This monitors the hardware and software issues and provides the stability index number from 1 to 10, and 1 represents the lowest stability, 10 represents the highest stability. Then reliability monitor Windows components includes the historical report on stability index, reliability details, action to be performed, saving historical data, starting problem reports, console, checking online for a solution to specific problem. And it looks like this. Reliability monitor tracks hardware and software issues that have impact the system, and it shows the historical data. Historical data from, you can see, in days or weeks. You can see like in days what happens, in weeks also what happens. You can see the numbers here, 1 to 10. It will rate the event in these numbers. 1 is the worst and the 10 is good at least. And you can see here in the critical information what is happening here. You can check the information here also, what happened. You can click on the event to check. Then you can save the reliability history. You can view all the problem report directly. You can check for the solution to all the problems or the problem issue you have selected. You can check the solution on solution of the problem online also. Then we have Event Viewer. This Event Viewer provides the categorized list of essential Windows log events and log grouping for individual installed application and specific window components category. You can see all the logs. This is very important for doing the troubleshooting. So if you face any problem in your system, so you should first check these logs, that whether there is any log related to our problem is there or not. And you can try to see these errors or warnings so that we can see what happened to our system. So we can go for the troubleshooting, and we can check the logs that what happens. It shows the logs in categories, different components and different categories. It has all the categories which you can see. So you can do this. You can check this log event and event viewer for the logs in the details for the detailed information. Then we can check the information for the log. Like suppose if you see the detail of the log information, you see the error, what is it saying here, but suppose we don't understand what is it saying, then we can go on to check the information online also. There is an option to check event log online help. So you can go for the online help for the particular event also. This event viewer provides the ability to view the multiple logs, create the customized views, configure tasks, schedule to run in response to events, create and manage the event subscriptions. Event viewer has many built-in logs such as application logs, which stores all the application related logs. So whatever the application we have in our system, it generates the logs. Whatever happened to those application, these logs will be generated here in the application log. Then we have the security log, where we see the security logs there. Setup log will have a setup logs. System log will have a system logs generated by the system. Then we have the forwarded logs also. Forwarded events is like, if suppose we have 100 machines and we want to monitor all the machines logs, so we have to go to each and every machine individually to check the logs. Now if suppose it is not possible for you to go to every machine to check the log, then what we can do, we can forward the log from all the other machines to our own machine, and then we don't have to go to other machines to check the log. We can see all those logs here under the forwarded events. Under the forwarded events, we can see the logs forwarded from the other machines. For that, we have to create and manage the event subscription. So we have to create the event subscription for that, and when we create it, then we can get the logs from the other machines also. Monitoring a server with the server manager. Now server manager itself in Server 2016, Server 2012 is a good management tool. Server Manager console, where it is installed by default in Windows Server 2016 and can be installed on Windows 10 also. It supports the monitoring of Windows Server operating system, provides a centralized monitoring dashboard, analyze or troubleshoot different types of issues, identifies critical events, and monitor the status of best practice analyzer tool also. So this server manager is also a good monitoring tool for our server. So this is the server manager, which gives us a centralized way of management. Like in this we have dashboard first, where we can see we can configure this local server, we can add roles and feature, add servers into this. Add servers, that means we can manage other servers also from this server manager tool. We can add them here and then we can manage them centralizedly. We can create the group of multiple servers. Even we can connect this server to cloud services also. And if we add the other servers, we can see them here under the all servers. Right now we have only our local server, and we can manage the local server from here. We can see all the important things are here, like we can see the computer name, domain name, you can manage them here. You can manage the firewall here. You can manage the remote login, remote management, remote desktop, NIC, networking. You have the information here. You have option to manage the updates, Windows Defender. You have time zone, product information. These are all links which you can use to manage different things. Like you want to manage firewall, you just have to click it. It will open the firewall console. You want to manage the networks, you will just click on this, it will open this. So just you have to click on it and it will open the link for you. So it has all the links here. Then when you go down, you will see the events. You will see directly here. You don't have to go to the event viewer, and you don't have to search for the particular event. For example, I want to see the DNS related event. So when I click on DNS, it shows that this is DNS is installed on this server, and when you go down, it shows all the events related to that DNS. Right now we have only one event. So if you have all the events, you can see the events here. You can see the events related to Active Directory services. It is installed in this server. So if you have any other services installed, so you can see it here in the server manager, and then you can see the events related to that services. Then if you go down, you will see the services also. So you don't have to go to services console to see the services and to manage the services. You can just manage the services directly from here, and all these services are only related to this particular service, this particular like Active Directory services. So these all services are only for that Active Directory services. For example, if I click on DNS, so it will show me only the services related to DNS, and there is only one service which is used to run the DNS. So we can see that. So this is what it is giving us, the information about a particular thing. Then we have this best practice analyzer, and also we have the performance. We can see the performance here. We can configure the performance alert here. We can configure the performance alert, like when something happened till like this, then it will generate the alert. Then it will show you the roles and feature information. Like if I select the local server, so it will show me this, that this local server is having all these roles and features installed. Then we can create the performance alert also, and this best practice analyzer. Now this best practices analyzer do what? It will scan our system to show you the best practice things, like what you should do, what is the best for your system and services. It will guide you, it will give you the information. You just have to start the best BPA scan. After scanning, it will guide you that this thing should be done like this and that thing should be done like this. So it will show you all the best practice analysis. It is scanning right now. When the scanning is done, then it will show us. Then the event viewer is a tool to see all events. You can go to tools and open the event viewer. Till it is analyzing, we will see the event viewer. Now under the event viewer, you will see all the logs related to our system, and the services also. We have some custom view where we can create our own view. Suppose we don't want to see the separate logs, we want to see the logs here separately. Like I want to see the log related to Active Directory domain services, so I can create my separate here. This is my custom log. It is actually created by default because I have added the Active Directory services here, DNS services here. By default you will see only remote desktop services custom log here, but these logs will come when you install Active Directory or DNS. So this is the custom view where you can create your own log related to your own services. You can create this, create a custom view, or you can open import the custom view also if you have created. In the custom view you can see like log anytime, last hour, last 24 hour. You can decide when you want to log, when you want to log. Then you want to see what critical events, errors, warnings, informations are just an information. You want it verbosely. You can select what you want to see. Then you want to go for by logs or by source. By logs, that means you can go by the logs of these, like which log you want. Like for this custom view, I want to have a log of Internet Explorer. I want to have a log of hardware events. I want to have a log. We have a Microsoft logs also here. Like you have the application view virtual log, you have Windows log, you have different applications log like audio log, backup log. You have all these. So you can create your own custom view, what you want to see only. I want to see the PowerShell log, so this is what I want to see. Or you can go by the source also. Source means the application source. So all the logs from this particular source. We can go for the Active Directory domain services, web services, admin. So we can go for by the source or by the logs. I go by the log, and then you can create the event ID. You can mention the event ID you want to see. You can go for the keywords. You want to see the keywords, or you want to go for the particular user. So if this user generates the log, then this kind of log you will see. And you can go for the computers also. When you press OK, you can also name it. I have not named that, but by default it is new view, but we should name it also. So this is what the log I have created, and this is the first log I got it here related to the PowerShell. And when you click on that, when you select that, you will see the detail here. And it shows here that this provider has attempting to perform the set property operation in the file system, provide failed path this, and cannot process argument because the value of argument is this and this. And who did this log, who generated this log? So log name is Windows PowerShell, source is PowerShell, event ID is this 300. It is a warning. User is not available because it is generated in background. Logged, when it was logged, task category is health provider, keyword is classic, computer is this. So you will see the detailed information about the logs. Then you can go for the normal logs of Windows. You can see the application logs generated by the application, security logs, setup logs, system logs, and forwarded logs. Right now forwarded logs are not there, but we can see that. You can double click on the log to open the log to see it in detail, and you can go for online help also. You can see the detail in XML format. You can see it in XML, you can see it in friendly view, and also you can copy this. Now forwarded logs will not be there. You want to see, then you have to create the subscription. Now when I select the subscription, it says that subscription services are not running. So this the Windows event collector service must be running and configured. Do you want to start? So I say okay, yes. Now you have to create the subscription for it. You have to go to this and create the subscription for it. That you want to create what? Subscription. You want to do what? Forwarded logs, forwarded events, hardware events. What do you want to forward? where you want to forward. So destination will be forwarded events. So all the events will be forwarded to this here in the forwarded events. Then collector initiated through with this computer. That means this computer contacts the selected source computer and provides the subscription. So this computer, this our computer, we select the here the different computer. We select the computer which we want to provide the subscription. So from this computer we will send the subscription, and then the other computer will start collecting the services, start collecting the forwarded logs. You can select the source computer initiated also, source computer and collector computer. So you have to create the subscription for it. Then you have application and services log here, Active Directory related, DFS related, directory services, DNS, hardware event, Explorer, key management, and also the Microsoft different services and PowerShell. So it gives you a detailed information about the problem before it happens. It starts with the warning and error, so you can see the detailed information here. Now this is what it has already scanned now, the best practice analyzer, and it gives you the information about what you should do. It is saying first the warning DNS server should have scavenging enabled. That means it is saying that your DNS server should have the scavenging enabled. That is not enabled. I have not configured it. So it is saying that you should do this. That is what the best practice. So best practice to use a DNS is to enable this DNS server scavenging option. Then also there is an error that it is saying at least one DNS server on the list of forwarders must respond to the DNS query. So whatever the list of forwarders are there, this DNS forwarders are there, it should be response, at least one server should respond. So that is a problem, and I should configure this. Then again it is saying this, that DNS root hint servers are not it must respond to DNS query for the root zone. Now this is for the root server and root hint server, and right now we are not connected to internet, so it is not going to be respond. So that is what it is giving me, the best practices, like what should be done for these particular things. The directory partition, it is saying the directory partition on this domain, on the domain controller, should have been backed up within the last 8 days. It is saying there is we have not taken the backup for this directory partition, so we should take the backup. It says the file name creation should be disabled. Then asynchronous credit should have the recommended value. So basically what it provide the best practices analyzing. It provide that what should be best for your system and services. So it scans and show that what should be the good thing for your system. So this is what the best practice analyzer. Using the performance monitor. Performance monitor is a good tool to monitor your performance of your system, as we have seen that provide the baseline trends and capacity planning. That by calculating performance baseline for your server environment, you can more accurately interrupt the real-time monitoring information. By establishing a baseline, you can interrupt the performance trends, performance capacity planning, identify the bottlenecks. This analyze performance trends to predict when existing capacity is likely to be exhausted and plan the capacity for the key hardware components and processor, disk, memory and network. So by doing this, by using the performance monitor, we can create the plan, like we can create the plan, and before it is likely to be exhausted, the capacity will be exhausted, we are ready to upgrade the capacity. So for that we can create the data collector set. So what are the data collector set? Data collector sets enable you to gather performance related and other system statistic for analysis. Data collector sets can contain the following types of data collectors, like performance counters, event trace data, system configuration information. Now capturing the counter data with the data collector set. So first we have to do what? We have to create the data collector set, then create the disk load on the server. Then we can see we can analyze the resulting data in the report. So what we do here in performance monitor, for the better planning, what we should do is to plan, first we should create the data collector set so that we can collect the data at the same time when the server is in use. So for that time, like suppose in daily at morning 11 to 12 p.m. am, the all users are available, they are logged in, they are working on it. So we will monitor the performance of that time, and then daily we will do the performance monitoring. And then what, at the end of the month, we can be analyzing, we can analyze the whole data, that which is having more load and which is likely to be exhausted, and based on that we can plan to upgrade those resources. Now for that, what you should do, we should create the collector set. For creating the collector set, we can create the user defined. We can right click on user define and we can go on to select new data collector set. We can mention the name that what we are going to test. So you can mention this, like what you are going to test. I'm going to name it test. Create from a template or create manually advanced. You can create it from the template or you can create manually, that is advanced. Now template, that means this one which is already there, this performance monitor. So I will go on to create from the template. Next you will see the templates here, which template you want to use. I will use the basic one, or I will go for the performance. It says the general report detailing the status of local hardware resources, system response time and processor and all these information. So I'll say okay. I will go next. What root directory? This is the directory where it is going to save all the data. You can change it. Then create the data collector set. It is run as. Now who is which user account you want to run it. It is going to run it default, and then you can change it also if you want. So I will say okay. You want to save and close, or you want to open the properties of the data collector set, or you can start the data collector set right now. So I will just save it first. So it is saved now here. Now I will open the properties here, and this is what it is going to see. This is all it is going to monitor because we have used the template system. This is the directory, root directory, where it is saving this. By the subdirectory name will be this according to the date and month. Prefix subdirectory with the computer name also. Serial number, it is going to add 1. You can add the security, that who can use this data collector set. You can schedule this data collector set to run on a particular time. You can stop on you can set the stop condition, like what happened, then it should stop. Overall duration you can mention, or you can mention the limit, the start the data collector set at limit, duration, maximum size, or you can say stop when all data collectors have finished. Then you can also run some task, that you can run some command. You can add some command here to stop the data collector set, or you can run the task here. Now if you want to add something, then you can add some new keywords. And right now it is not running. You can go to data manager. You can see minimum free disk, maximum folders. If it is a large report generated, then it will be deleted. Delete the large report. What actions would be taken after 1 day, 8 day or 24 days. Whatever we created the data, it is going to use the disk space. And these are the rules. Now we have created the data collector set based on the template. Now what we have to do, we have to we can set the schedule for it, or also we can run it manually also. So I can start it right now. Now it is started, and it is start monitoring the status. And then after when it is finished, we can see here under the reports user defined, when you go to check the test, this is the report, and right now it is collecting, and it is collecting for last 60 seconds. So you have to monitor the system at least for 10 minutes. Then what, you will stop it, and then you will see the report. Then you will do it daily at the same time. Then you will do what, you can manage, you can compare it at the end of the week or at the end of the month, so that you can see what is increasing, what is decreasing, and what is the likely to be exhausted. Now I want to stop it to see what is happening here. So I will go again to select the text, our data collector set, and then I will stop it. Okay, it is already stopped. So I will go here and check the report. So this is the report about all these things, about the summary. This is the summary report here, and you can see the result in detail. This is the information about the CPU, network, disk, and memory. Then you can see the system, CPU process, what was running, services was running, services, system. Then you can go on to see the network, interface information, IP information. You can see the TCP, you can see the UDP, then you can see the disk information, hot files which was used regularly, breakdown, physical disk, memory, process, counters, and then report statistics. This is the report statistics. So this is what the data collector set we can create custom. We have used the template. We can create the you can create the manual also. For manual, we can select. You can create manually also. We can create the data log by choosing this, or you can add the performance counter alert manually. You can add the alerts what you want. So you can select what you want to add, you want to monitor. So you can select manually what you want. Process, ideal time, processor time. So you can select what you want, and then you can create your own custom data collector set without using the templates. Okay, and then next, again you want to just save it, so it becomes your own cluster data collector set. And then whenever you want to monitor it, you just have to start it, and when you start, it will start collecting the set. And you can see here, right now it is not showing any because we have not created any. And finally we can see the report like this. Then monitoring the network infrastructure services. Monitoring is essential for optimizing the network infrastructure server performance, troubleshooting the server. It is very important to do the troubleshooting and performance of the network. So we should monitor the network, and for monitoring the network, we should use the monitoring tools. Then consideration for the monitoring of virtual machines. Consideration for monitoring the virtual machines are: virtual machine must be assigned sufficient resources for their workload. Then if multiple virtual machines run on a host, ensure the host has enough resources Resources are shared, so performance of one virtual machine can affect the performance of others. So you must remember to monitor the resource utilization on the host and the guest. So we have to monitor the resources utilized on the host, which is hosting multiple virtual machines, so that every machine will get a better resources. Event logs, as I said, for the server manager to view the event logs, server manager provides a centralized location for the event logs from the remote servers. Event logging is enabled by default and categorized by technology, that EDDS, DNS and remote access. We have seen it in server manager. Before by default it shows the events, whatever the events related to a particular service, and also from the different servers also. So we can customize the view also. We can create the query for specific type of events that need to be displayed and configure the event data that needs to be displayed. So we can also configure it in the server manager, that what we want to see, and same as what we have configured in the event viewer. We can configure what we want to see, critical, warning or what, and we want to see what based on log or based on source, based on different user accounts. And also we can do event subscription also. This event subscription allow you to collect event logs from multiple servers and then store them locally. So event going individually to any other machines, we don't go to that machines, we directly collect the event from them to our centralized machine, and we can monitor the events in our centralized local machine. We don't have to go to other machines, and for that we use the event subscription. So these are the monitoring tools we have, and this is how we do the monitorings. And monitoring is very important for our servers to work properly, and we have to be prepared before the disaster happens. We can be prepared for the server's upgrade. So before the server goes down, we will be ready for our server to be to upgrade the resources to make the server available.